Welcome to my channel. I am GDP and today we're going to talk about the counter meta. Before we get started, I'd like to thank you guys for helping me cross 7,000 subscribers. Since I have last posted my video, which was almost 17 days now, over a little over 2 weeks, I have crossed the 7,000 subscriber mark, and thank you guys very much for that. I know I haven't posted much videos this month. Actually, probably about the last month and a half, I haven't posted a whole lot. Um, Life is getting busy around the holidays. It's kind of running joke in my line of work is uh, we decide not to work all year long until we get to the holidays where we just stack everything. But let's go ahead and talk about the counter meta here. There's going to be a couple heroes we're going to be talking about. The first one is going to be pretty obvious to a lot of people. It is Almond Raw. She has a healing curse when she does her basic attack, meaning that when she does a basic attack, she'll apply a healing curse to 2 random enemies. At Void 3, this is 3 random enemies. And when that hero heals themselves, when they have a healing curse, they'll kill them, they'll hurt themselves. This is a good way to kill off an SFX or a queen. So this is one of the counters, but one of the easy counter plays to this is to, instead of running Purify, you run Resilience. So if your hero has enough HP, which usually means above like 5% HP, 10% HP, you'll heal yourself, take a little bit of damage, and then you won't have to worry about the massive heal that you do from your SFX's basic attack or active with Impeccable. So that is the first counterplay hero of the meta. The next one is Sherlock. He was dropping out of the meta a little while ago, but he has quickly sprung back into action several months ago, actually. Once people started getting counters to SFX, he came back really quickly. A lot of common builds for him are a Splendid AMB with either an attack stone or a speed attack stone. I go with a full attack with the attack enables. And this basically makes him low HP, lots of attack, and he can get -1s off of SFX. For our first couple rounds. It can get overloaded with her actives, but the big ticker here is his HP swap. Once he goes below a certain percent, 30% HP, he goes ahead and swaps his HP with the highest HP on the other team. Usually this means it's a Void imprinted hero because Void imprints give you a lot of HP. So this requires you to not only keep in mind of your low HP in your team comp, but also your high HP in your team comp, because you got to worry about those lock swaps, because a simple lock swap on an SFX when she's full HP down to like 5% HP and then getting a healing curse and then you die off resilience or something. A little bit of a combo like that can kill off your void heroes or whatever you have imprinted. So that is another counter meta hero. The next one I do want to talk about, it's not really a counter meta. It's more of he is in the meta, but is kind of, I'm hearing a lot of people say he's not very useful. In CCL, I can kind of see that he's going to be very, very strong if you have an energy feed team feeding into him, and if he's really fast with like a Splendid Receptor, that's when he's really, really, really good. But if you don't have that, he can still be played as a counter hero, primarily because of his Revenging Wraith. A lot of times your ticks will die to an SFX, and when that happens, if your ticks did get an active off and a basic off, he's going to have a lot of attack. So this cap damage here of 2,500% of a Texas attack is actually a massive amount of damage. Keep in mind, this is only if he got attack steal off. If he just dies, if he comes out of the field and dies right away, this doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But if he does get an active off, if he gets a basic off, he'd steal some attack, and you lay this onto a SFX or a queen or something, it's better to have it on the SFX because in the TOC, if you come down to a carries or like 4 or 5 carries and your SFX versus the enemy team with carries with 4 to 5 carries and SFX, whoever SFX has the Revenging Wraith on them is going to lose most likely because this damage is actually really high and will eventually kill your SFX in the later rounds. So that is kind of why I consider Tix somewhat of a counter hero, even though he is in the meta in the endgame TOC and in the CCL if you have him in an energy feed. The last hero I want to talk about, and I do have some clips to show you, is a newly built hero that I have built. He is not a new hero. He's actually a very old hero, about a year and a half, almost 2 years old, and that is Cruce. A little thing here is you are going to need him E5 to have him very, very, very consistent. Only reason being is you want to make sure that you have his unbending will. You're want to position him to be either the lowest HP or the second lowest HP. And when he comes out into the field, an enemy SFX will hit your Cruce, and then immediately he'll get below. Most likely, he'll drop below HP of 50% and stun the enemy team. This stun, coupled with a splendid Receptor, is going to stun off 90% of the time 4 to 6 targets. So you're going to get a large, massive team stun onto your enemy team, and this is going to allow your team to capitalize on those stunned heroes and dish out a bunch of damage before they dish out damage to you. So this kind of completely negates the speed boost from a Rogan, and it can also gut off a feed team into, like, say, a Tix or a Russell. Whatever it is, you're going to stop the feed into that hero or prevent them from getting active off because they are stunned. So that is another thing here. I am going to real quickly just shout out the counter to this play. This Cruce method does not work if your enemy brings a Russell, because a Russell will dazzle the lowest HP, and if Cruce is your lowest HP, he will become dazzled, and when Cruce is dazzled, it means he can only stun one hero. So if you have an enemy who is deciding to use Cruce as a counter to you, you can counter his Cruce by running Russell. But this usually requires a shakeup in his team, and if he shakes up his team, you can go ahead and counter that play because, usually having a Russell in your team isn't the most optimal. It can be, but usually it's not, and it just opens you up. So it's just a bunch of counterplay after counterplay. That's how I like to play. I don't like to go with a straight up, this is the meta, which is like right now double Rogan, double Tix or something like that with SFX and Queen. I like going into this Cruce, just going into a Cruce that can counter that meta team. So here's a couple of clips, guys. I know I talked a lot about the counter meta right now, but I hope you guys enjoyed these clips, and I'll see you guys coming up here soon. We got the Christmas event coming up with Dark Mage Hero. I am looking forward to that, and I hope you guys enjoy these clips.